The only question I'm hearing all over here is what for?
These crowds can roam these vast grounds for hours and still not find the answer. Remarkably, no looting, nothing stolen, because that's what they say he did. A day out to forget the dead and the political power vacuum and see what money can buy if you really don't have anything sensible to do with it. He didn't even drive these. A 50s Bentley, a Soviet armoured limo, whatever this is, and an American army jeep. In the end, he fled, of course, in the presidential helicopter. And not in this, a massive riverboat for partying. Outside, fascination at the life he led, and they could only look in on while their country stagnated. Inside, gifts from guests.
Well, in the months ahead, when Ukraine comes to terms with the troubled economy and asks, where did all the money go? Here is part of the answer. The president's own vodka.
Did you even know Versace made plates? Even the presidential waste gets guilt. We later got inside his house. A bizarre, enormous, empty mansion with this girl's bedroom, a rare sign of life being lived here. Otherwise, it was gaudy, but vacant. Everything laid on, even a tunnel linking the houses across miles and miles of grounds. The luxury literally never seemed to end. In his bedroom, one bell for sex, one for alcohol. It was presumably a joke, but how he lived, to the people whose money this was, isn't. Nick Payton-Walsh, CNN, Kiev.
Mexican Marines have nabbed one of the world's most wanted drug lords, Joaquin Guzman Lora, commonly known as El Chapo. He was arrested in the Mexican resort town of Mazatlan after being on the run for more than 13 years. And in Thailand, violence over the weekend saw 4 people, including 3 children, killed and dozens others wounded when a bomb exploded at an anti-government rally in Bangkok. We have details of these and other stories in this CFI Roundup.
A retired general brandishing automatic weapons takes to his rooftop. He's making a stand against Venezuela's socialist government. He brands it a dictatorship. Heeding a call on Twitter, middle-class neighbours massed and threw up burning barricades to defend him from arrest. He's a true Venezuelan soldier. He's a real representative of Venezuela, he says. General Angel Vivas quit the army in 2007 after disagreements over Hugo Chavez's leadership. He was later charged with insubordination. On Sunday morning, state security forces tried but failed to detain him on charges of stirring up violent opposition. On February 19th, the general posted this tweet, urging citizens to string nylon cables across streets. That advice, he told CNN, was aimed at stopping gun-toting government loyalists on motorbikes. What I did was recommend to unarmed civilians so that they could defend themselves. A doctor gives medicine, a priest offers a prayer, and I gave military advice, he says. 2 days after General Vivas's tweet, a 29-year-old supermarket worker was decapitated by a cable as he rode home on his motorbike. There's no suggestion he was involved in the political troubles. Hours after the standoff began, President Nicolas Maduro called on General Vivas to turn himself in. Venezuela is under attack by extreme right-wing groups who want to start a civil war and topple the government, he said. General Vivas's show of armed defiance has transformed him into the opposition's newest hero. While his stand is not an indication of brewing discontent among serving military officers, Vivas says he still has good inside contacts. The army is very fragmented. They no longer buy the ideological discourse, he says. As night fell, supporters dug in.
This is another of the defensive lines that neighbours have thrown up. They say that they fear pro-government forces pulling in on motorcycles, and so they've thrown up these nylon cables to stop them. They've also made these tubes with nails to throw on the ground and puncture tyres. And then, if security forces do get through, well, you've got a supply here of Molotov cocktails.
We heard what was happening to the general and came to this spot. All this will continue until we get rid of the regime, he says. And as protesters took shifts to man the barricades, their general vowed no surrender. Carl Penhall, CNN, Caracas.
And before we take leave of you, a quick reminder of the day's top stories. West African meteorologists have descended on Banjul for a 5-day sub-regional interface staged by World Meteorological Organization and its partners. Mexican Marines and U.S. counter-narcotics operatives have arrested the exclusive leader of the Sinaloa drug cartel without firing a shot. And in Thailand, 4 people have been killed, 3 of them children, in yet another round of violence targeting anti-government demonstrators. That was all in this edition of the news. Thanks for your time and join us at 10.